welcome to the Grease Up Sports Podcast. The wait is finally over. Episode 1, we got Coach Mike Lattof on to talk, Rona, Lattof running, some other shit we want to talk about. But obviously, don't forget, Grease Up Sportscast is brought to you by Tinkham Landscaping. Make sure your yard is looking nice with all your neighbors at home in quarantine with Tinkham Landscaping.
Oh, Jesus. Boys.
Welcome.
What's going on?
Let's start this off by showing off this shirt. Rona 2020.
Wow.
I heard that's one of one. One of one, is that true?
One of one. It's one of one right now, but I might put it on sale. Usually I'd sell it for like $35. I mean, this face right here, this is some money for you, but
I mean, people say when you got your face on a shirt, you made it.
I did notice your eyes look very blue and very good in that picture, Dev.
Hey, my eyes aren't bad, That's a nice looking picture.
Very good.
It's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt. I'm debating on whether to make it a cutoff. I've sent out some Snapchats of people asking if I should make it a cutoff or leave it short sleeve. But I don't know. I think I might leave it on the short sleeve so then I can kind of wear it as like a legit shirt, and people will be like, "What the fuck is that kid wearing?" I'm like, "Oh, this is my boy Devin."
How are you gonna show off all that progress though in the gym this winter?
Good point.
It's Rona, baby. It's rodent season. We got hopefully we got Wingashik. So
I'm with you on that. So Dev, what have you learned lately, bud?
Mostly I've just been working, playing Xbox. But I actually did learn one thing recently. I've been on YouTube trying to learn some stuff, and I found out how to tie a bowling knot. Ooh. I don't know if you guys know how to. Do you guys know how to tie one of those?
No,
I've never tied one. No, I don't really tie knots.
You want to see? It's one of the most versal knots in the world.
I mean, you could, sure.
I have some rope right here. If you guys want. All right, so you take your rope here.
Okay.
Form a nice loop in the middle.
Yeah.
And you take this, call this the working end. You're going to put it through the said loop. And then you're going to go behind the rest of the rope there. And then you're going to go back through the original loop here. So as you can see, we got a lot of shit going on.
Okay.
But then once you're at that
like
point,
a mess.
tie it.
You got it.
I mean, that's pretty small. Could come in handy for some things.
Wow.
You never know.
Now, are you using these for the legendary 25-foot sea cap boat you own?
It's possible. We have some nice cleats at the Cape Ann Marina, but at other marinas, you might have to tie it onto a pole where, the bowling knot would come in handy. So
of course.
That's why I'm trying to learn some new knots.
Word on the street is our good friend Jesse Glidden can do the lasso with the cleats at Cape Ann Marina.
Is that true? I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. He said it. He also claims to be the best deckhand there is.
That's a hot take.
Wow. So. Is that CNN Glidden?
That's
the business insider.
Yeah.
What are you guys drinking tonight?
Little Bud Latte.
I'm supporting local business today. Got Cape Ann Brewing Company, Real Easy IPA.
Oh.
Very smooth, tasty.
Wow.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
I like that. I saw the Harpoon Wana Mangoes at East Gloucester Richdale's for the first time this week. Well, for the first time in a while, I should say. So
great
I had to
name.
go with those.
Wana Mango.
It is a great name.
Yeah.
They're tasty too. I like them.
Yeah.
Them.
That works too. Yeah.
They're
definitely.
good. They're good.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been in a store and you see a smoke and you don't really say anything, but you wish you did? And then you wish you could just reach out to them? Yeah, well, I found this new thing on Craigslist, Misconnections.
Oh.
Have you guys heard of that?
Okay. No. What's this?
Well, I found a couple that I thought you guys might enjoy. These actually don't pertain to seeing people in the store and tracking them down, which they normally do. But I mean, I can read a couple.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. So the first one, we have a local hero. I'll read it out first. He goes, I had previously posted here offering some assistance to the ladies that are currently not working at the cabaret and have been successful in assisting one young lady. It appears that she was not completely upfront about what she was doing with her partner and that decided to not continue. I'm looking for any other young lady that would like to help herself out and me as well. Thanks. So we have this guy who is, through the coronavirus, employing our local strippers in the comforts of his own home. I mean, it seems like a win-win to me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, if you're playing the game, if you're helping these people, feed their children. Good for you. I probably wouldn't do that by bringing strippers in, but that's just me.
Yeah, seems like a good guy though. I mean, he's trying to help.
Me personally, local hero.
I mean, is he trying to help though, or is he just being a creep?
Well, he is a creep. I actually had some intel that he's a normal there from one of my pals.
He's got to be a legend. I mean, if you're getting that close with
her regular,
one of my
if you're getting that close with one of these girls, and you're like, hey, you should come over, and you can strip or whatever she's doing.
Who knows?
Are they stripping there, or what's going on? Is he like inviting all his boys to having a little Corona strip party?
Hopefully it's just him, so they're not all getting jumbled up in there, coronavirus shit going on. But I don't know. I mean, there's some favors going down for money. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, how good is a social distance lap dance?
Yeah, from 6 feet away. Yeah, you might as well just fucking take out your phone at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do anything else.
But yeah, I kept reading on this misconnections. I thought the first one was pretty good, and I saw this other one. So it's titled, "Is Everyone Stupid?" Which is a fair question, I guess.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say, "Just wondering, isn't all this hooking up just helping to keep the virus spreading?" And this is the best take of all time I think I've ever read. "Jerking off is better than dying." That's like
that is
preaching that for years.
I mean, yeah, that's a fact.
Can anyone argue that? I'm not really sure.
I don't think you can. I mean, I could count nothing else that I would rather do than to crank one out before I die.
Oh yeah.
Kiss my children, kiss my wife. Psh, get out of here. I'm cranking one out. Let me go to bed. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's just another local hero. That guy just has his head on straight, really.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about.
He's not hiring strippers. He's just jerking it.
Yeah. Safety first.
Yeah, exactly.
There's two types of guys during coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. This is the big brand guy.
Oh, awesome. But yeah, I mean,
coronavirus.
Let's talk a little like news, sports. Let's try and be like a professional podcast here. I just wanted to jump into like, Bobby Kraft with the 1.2 million masks. Like that's a haul. That's a haul.
Yeah,
that guy, and you know what? The Orchids of Asia media attention blew this out of the water.
Yeah.
It blew this out of the water.
But now everyone's forgetting about that. Now he's the best guy on earth. Before it was like, wow, Rob Kraft's a scumbag. He cheats.
That's true.
But now it's like, you know what? Forgive Rob Kraft. He got us all these masks.
Yeah, he didn't get the media attention with this one, but it erased the last story. So yeah.
If Rob Kraft put as much effort into getting those masks as he did with re-signing Tom Brady, I would love him way more. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good take.
We'll sign Tom Brady.
He's
the best quarterback of all time. He's my hero. He's my idol. He's everything I've ever wanted to watch in my life, and now he's gone from me. Thanks, Rob Kraft. Do your job. Do your job.
How about sign the GOAT quarterback instead of the masks?
Yeah. One time.
Yeah. I mean, losing Brady was tough. I mean, it really just made me think like, dude, that's my childhood. It's gone. Like that was the last thing left. Yeah.
I mean, you can see behind me, I have a picture of Tom Brady there. I bought that magazine. I bought that magazine, right? And I didn't even open it up. I just put it immediately into a picture frame that I have. TV12 turns 40.
It's going to be worth a lot.
And they're never going to leave.
Keep it in good condition?
I hope so. It's been in a picture frame. I've never opened it. I've never even looked at it. I bought it. I said, this is going in a picture frame, and I'm going to love it forever, and I'm going to.
Smart move.
I mean, I don't care where he is. He might be in Tampa Bay now. I have no idea. I don't know.
CBS.
I found it in my house.
Oh yeah, so he's living in Jeter's mansion. And he said it's not nearly as private because there's boats pulling up all the time. Because like you can't stop boats from the intercoastal to pull up there.
I'd pull up.
Sick.
I mean, it's like being at your house right now. If I had a boat, even though it's coronavirus season and you don't want us coming to your house, if I had a boat, I would just pull right up to your dock. I'd hop out and be like, "Yo, Dev, what's good?"
Yeah, I could easily be invaded.
Oh yeah,
you could be invaded.
Yeah, but I don't know. Why do you guys think he left? Honestly, you think it was the riff with Bill? I mean, he said he knew at the beginning of last year that he was gone. Something obviously went down.
I don't know if there's a riff with Bill or if it's more of like he just slowly watched. Like Gronk left. Jules is getting old. They're not drafting good wide receivers in the rookie class. They're not signing good wide receivers. They don't sign in general.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, all right, I'm getting older, clearly. Maybe – do you think he still thinks he's as good? Because I do. I think he thinks he's still the nuts, you know?
Most of the scouts say
that.
he hasn't really lost a step. It was just the weapons and separation not happening.
So I think that's what's pissing him off is the fact that he knows that he's not getting worse, but the talent around him is constantly getting worse. So it's making him look worse, and he hates that. I think that's why
he never really had like that great a talent other than like the Moss years. You know what I mean? Like he had like Gronk. You know, that's one weapon with like Edelman, but like
the Hernandez-Gronk duo for that.
Like last year was the first year removed from that. Yeah, I mean that was definitely good.
Yeah, but even Dola, Edelman, and Gronk, Dola is so good during the playoff time. Playoffs, but I mean, no one can even argue that.
Yeah, but so you couldn't like he gave him 1 year. Like I mean, the Gronk retired just last year, and they kind of got fucked from it. So like they got caught off guard too. Like they probably wanted more weapons than that last year too.
Well, they did hook him up at the beginning of last year, but everything kind of went.
So I don't think that's a reason for him to like kind of check out. You know, I think the whole OTAs thing with Giselle actually was like, you know, that was a starting point for something.
But that doesn't make sense because he still has to go to OTAs in Tampa Bay. Like it's not like he doesn't have to go anymore.
Yeah, he's gonna go to learn the offense if they have him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like he has to go to OTAs this year. So what? Now Giselle's just like cool with it. Like
And now this year, more than anything else, he has to because one, he's on a new team, needs to learn a new system. And two, he can't have this whole entire offseason to train with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and all those guys. They can't do anything. They can't train together. The whole NFL's on a standstill. The whole world's on a standstill. So OTAs is going to be what matters most if he wants to be good. If it even happens, who knows?
Yeah. Good point.
I mean, buckle in, but I don't think Tampa's making the playoffs this year.
Really? Unreal.
Give me that.
Oh, you guys are gonna red card in me?
I was Tom Brady not gonna make the playoffs.
Tampa's gonna win. The defense is good. DJ was also trying to argue the other day that defense isn't good.
Their defense is top 10 in advanced metrics.
They were on the field every 6 minutes. And for the people at home listening, the red card, if you have an extremely hot take, you get a red card, you got to slam the rest of your beer. So DJ's first up. Take. I think that's a hot take.
I think Dev got me a bag of beers earlier. So.
Sent him off to school.
You know when you see, like when you're watching cartoons.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you see like love, blah, 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 whatever. There's like a note on the bag, but it's written in like crayon by like a 3-year-old. That's literally what that writing looks like.
Yeah, that was unbalanced writing it.
Yeah, dude, that was like with your pinky and your thumb of your left hand. Like that was ridiculous.
It's like he's holding the marker like this, and he was just like, trying to scribble away.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, it's all about the action.
Back to the take. Just so you know, back myself up a little bit here. I just think it's different this year. You know, he's in a better division. He's in a better conference. You guys say the defense was good last year. They were 30th in the pass, okay? 30th.
They were on the field every 6 minutes. Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions.
So what? They were 30th in the pass. They were first in the pass on offense, okay? So you're telling me Brady's that one player is going to change that much? No way.
Yeah,
they're going to have like 25 less
interceptions. Yeah, if he throws 7 interceptions all year long, that's taking the defense off the field for so much time.
If he throws 7 interceptions all year long, then they're not airing it out like they were last year, and they're not going to be the number one offense.
They might not have to be. They're not turning the ball over.
They're going to be good. The Saints are choke artists. Everyone knows about the
They
Falcons.
Fall off at the end of every year. Saints.
Brady is the Falcons' daddy. They're not going to do anything next year. They're scared already.
The Saints need to choke, I think, for them to make the playoffs. That's where I'm at. Because I think the rest of the conference, I think there's going to – wild card's tough in the NFC. It's tough.
Well, the Panthers are probably going to be bad next year.
Yeah, they should be.
Well, the rest of the division, I mean, whatever. But the rest of the conference, I'm saying.
It's just
you got the Bears, the Vikings, Packers all fighting for spots. Like, you got the Rams, the Seahawks, the Niners all fighting for spots. Like, it's a tough conference. So he's going to have to win his division. So they're going to have to beat out the Saints. That's where I'm at.
There's also an extra wild card team this year. They'll make the playoffs some way. Yeah, 7 teams instead of 6.
Really?
I think that the NFC is good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good. But I think they're all like 1As to the AFC's 1s. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I could definitely get behind that.
I don't think any team in the NFC could straight up beat the Chiefs or Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Baltimore is going to be rolling this year. No one can figure out Lamar Jackson.
I would take the Chiefs again, honestly.
I would take the Chiefs again too. Absolutely.
They're just like loaded on offense. I mean, their defense is. I mean, they're not bad. They're good enough. Get the job done.
Did they sign Chris Jones again?
They franchise him, I want to say.
But
Yeah,
he hasn't signed the franchise tag tender, right?
I don't know. I have to
Like,
check on that.
who do you guys think is like improved their team like through free agency?
The Bills for sure. The Bills gonna be good.
Oh, well,
this
yeah.
year.
Yeah, they actually have
definitely
weapons
Bills.
now.
I mean, as much as I don't really like Stephon Diggs, he runs probably the crispiest routes in the NFL.
Yeah, they
But
are
just
nice.
having that threat that's big. And Devin Singletary was a beast last year.
He's nice.
Yeah.
Frank Gore's like 1 trillion years old, and he still just pounds that brick into the end zone at the end of the day.
He like pisses me off that he's at the top of the records because he's played so long, but he hasn't been good for like
He's just
5
not.
years.
I mean, he was good the first
He's
like
such
7
an
years of his
OG,
career.
though.
He was a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, you just have to respect the game.
Yeah.
What about talking free agency? What do you think about the Colts getting Phil Rivers? I thought that was interesting. I don't know if they're actually like a quarterback away from being decent.
I heard that they were trying to get Rivers over Brady.
Yeah,
They
I heard that
weren't
too.
even interested. You did?
I didn't-
Okay, cool.
I didn't believe that. Maybe it was because of the rivalry in the past or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I think what the thing is they want to draft a quarterback, and they know Philip only has a few more years left, whereas Brady wants to keep on playing. So
Mhm.
they signed Philip Rivers for the intent of like having a younger quarterback learn under him, even though he doesn't even know the system, which makes no sense at all. But he doesn't. So this younger player could learn how to kind of walk him through the first couple years of the NFL, digest all the information, learn how to make the right reads. Yeah, how to be a pro, essentially.
Yeah.
But
And Tom's contract was fully guaranteed too, and Philip Rivers is only half, something like that.
Oh,
yeah, that's
but the Colts
huge.
have a ton of cap room.
Yeah, that's true. What's his name? Is probably he's a fucking pill junkie, isn't he? The owner, or say
Tony Pollard.
Tony
Is
Pollard.
that him? Oh no. Who's that? That was the. Why did I say Tony Pollard? Tony Pollard's a running back on the Cowboys.
No, talk about the
Jim
owner.
Irsay.
Yeah,
Jim Irsay.
Yeah, he's cooked.
Yeah, that's way off.
Way off. At least I don't know how I even pulled that name out. I don't know where that came from.
How about Scott Pollard? Anyone?
Scott Pollard.
Throwback.
Let's
NBA
go.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What championship was he on? He
Uh,
on 08?
he might have been on that team. He's
Yeah,
around that time.
I think he squeezed into 08.
Scott Pollard did nothing.
Last take on free agency though. Did you guys see what was his name? Storm Norton, XFL tackle. They got signed to the Chargers.
Oh yeah.
Electric.
This guy looks like he slams about 30 to 36 beers on a Monday night.
He probably does. That's why he's in.
Yeah.
That's why he was in the XFL and now he's in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stop pounding the beers.
Yeah, this guy's a legend though. Definitely give him a shout out though if you see him on the gram or something like that. 'Cause this guy's a legend.
just let him know what's up. Hey, we show you out on a podcast. We should try to get him on this. If we get him on this, that'd be electric.
Oh, Storm.
We could pull that.
He come on.
We could get that going.
What does he have to do?
Nothing. Actually, Clowney's still a free agent too.
Yeah, I saw that like Russ was like begging him to come back to the Seahawks.
Lost a shit ton of money.
Too much money, dude.
I was reading Pro Football Focus earlier, and he's ranked third best against the run since 2017, but for pass rush, he's ranked 25th, which I thought was the opposite. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
so he's not an elite pass rusher by the numbers.
Yeah, and he's bad in the run.
I wouldn't think that.
He's bad in the run too.
No, he said he's third best against the run since 2017.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which surprised
it's the
me.
opposite of what we thought.
Yeah.
Well, remember that hit that he had again in college when he just came right up the middle against Baylor and popped the running back?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was awesome.
Do you guys think Cam or Jameis are gonna get signed before like the season starts?
They have to. I actually read a report today that Cam wants to go to the Patriots. Cam wants to go to the Patriots, and he's willing to take a pay cut. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, but we can't even afford him.
Yeah, we have no cap money.
Literally, the amount of money in my bank account is the amount of cap space we have.
But I thought about that the other day, and I was like irate about it. But then I thought about it, like Bill definitely set this up as the year to start the rebuild. Like maybe that's part of the reason why Brady started writing on the ball, because this was the year cap-wise where he just fucked us. And he did it purposely so the years prior we could have a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I wish he just retired, to be honest. Yeah. Like, if he was just going to, I don't know. I mean,
go
I
out
hate
on
talking
top
about it. I get so sad.
Just unfortunate.
Yeah, I've had some good cries.
I've cried. I think I've cried 3 times. One of them, I was watching all of his highlights, and I was like full-blown tears pouring down my face. And then the other day, I just watched a highlight of Gronk. It was just Gronk. And Tom Brady obviously throw him the football, and I started crying again. I'm like, dude, what is going on with me? I haven't cried before this Tom Brady thing in forever, and now I'm just waterworks.
Wow, big tough guy over here.
I got over it way faster than I thought I would, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, it hasn't.
And you're like,
I was about to say it hasn't sunk in yet though either. Like the season hasn't started. Like we've been in Rona since it started. Like
it'll hurt more when we see him in a Bucs uniform.
Oh my God!
The only good thing has been like Trump came on the other night and had a meeting with the NFL owners. Was like, hey, we want you guys to like try to get these sports going. The only sport that's trying to do that is the UFC. Dana White was like, hey, I'm gonna buy an island. It's gonna be called Fight Island. We're all gonna go there. But then of course Disney had to ruin everything, and they were like, nope, you're not doing that. We're pulling the plug.
They pulled the plug. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I guess like the Disney top executives and ESPN like pretty much just told them no, you're not doing that.
Yeah, Disney and ESPN is full of cucks, honestly. They pulled the plug on Part of My Take show, or Barstool Van Talk, after one episode.
That would have been the best show on ESPN. That's why they can't figure it out. That's why they always have terrible Monday night announcers. Like, get Booger McFarlane out of here. Get Jason Witten out of here. Get me someone good. I just want to watch Monday Night Football and be happy about it. I don't want to listen to Booger McFarlane screaming about nonsense trying to tell me how to block.
Yeah. You see Breeze the other day just released. He's like, yeah, I'm not working for ESPN when I retire. I'm going to NBC.
He doesn't want to work there.
No one
Peyton
does.
Manning's denied it like 4 times.
Damn.
He just denied a $20 million contract a year, 5 years guaranteed, $100 million for Monday Night Football. He said, nope, I don't want to do it on ESPN.
Yeah.
Damn.
Back to the island though, like what would you guys name it? You know, if you had an island where just like the most lethal like people in the world are just going head to head, what would you fucking call it?
Dude, Fight Island's so sick. That's
Fight
such
Island,
a good name.
Yeah.
That's such a cool name. I mean, give Dana White props because he does whatever he can to make the show go on.
Yeah.
I
mean, like maybe a good Survivor Island type name or something.
Survivor,
like that.
I was thinking like Sick Bird Resort.
Final Boss Island.
Sick Bird Resort. I don't know. I think Fight Island hits the nail on the head. Like everyone knows why they're going there. You're going to watch a fight or you're going to fight. It's one of the two things. That's the only reason you're going there.
It's so simple, but like, it's almost perfect. Yeah,
it's perfect.
Fight Island.
I mean, for all the UFC dummies out there too that just get clapped in the head all day long, like they're like, "Oh, where am I going? Oh, I guess I'm going to Fight Island." Like, works perfect. Works perfect.
You've been summoned to Fight Island.
There he is,
the
one and only,
the legend,
Mike Lattof, Coach Lattof, a Gloucester legend. Well known around the community for everything he's done for not only me, for Devin, but for generations and generations.
Thousands.
How you doing, Mike?
Good. How you guys doing?
Can I call you Mike or do I still have to call you Coach?
You can call me Mike. We're past the coach.
Coach Mike.
We're past the coach.
I
feel like I still have to call you Coach, though. You've been my coach for so long, and now I just feel like I still have to call you that. You know.
I coached you when you were like 8 years old on.
I was crying away down at the Oval.
Coach, has he grown since?
I was probably crying because Mike was making fun of me. That's probably why I was crying.
Yeah, probably. You deserved it if I did.
So how you doing? What have you been up to since quarantine's been going on?
I was out of work last year because I was sick all year. I don't know if you guys knew that. And,
I wasn't aware of that.
No.
I didn't tell anybody. I didn't know if Jason told you or not. I almost died a couple times last year. So
Jesus Christ.
I just got cleared to go back to work, and then this thing happened. So now I'm in my house trying to get work going again. And I'm trying to, I put a lot of weight on with the medicine they had me on. So now I'm trying to get back in shape. So I
Hitting the treadmill?
I took pieces of the running program, and this lady called me. She wanted to buy it. So I asked her, she owned a gym, and I asked her to give me something. So she gave me this. I'll show you. You see that over there?
Oh,
baby.
Oh,
That's
nice.
heavy. That's heavy duty. Yeah, I was just about to ask you too what you've been doing, all that built up energy after coaching, but I see you've been keeping yourself busy, Mike.
Yeah, I got the treadmill back here, the cross train. I got to get in shape.
Oh yeah.
I can't let I got to, that's where all my energy is going right now, is back to getting work. And, I was supposed to coach girls lacrosse this year because it was Olivia's senior year. I was still doing that after I was down to high school. But it looks like that's going to be canceled, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, you're not going to be going back to school this year, huh? That's kind of the word on the street.
What's that?
That's kind of the word on the street, is no one's going to go back to school this year. I mean, Florida's talking about going back, but I don't see that happening in mass.
And I think the MIA has a meeting on Monday to determine what's going on with the sports, but I think it's done. And then
I think it's done.
As they say it's done, the high school will get a letter saying I'm done.
Will the athletes have the option to repeat the year, you think?
I don't know. I doubt it. Still, they don't look at it as sports, and these kids are getting past field grades right now, so they're ready to go into school. I know my daughter's ready to go to school, but the only thing that sucks is that they missed that last connection with all their friends.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's the worst part. I mean, the seniors in college, the seniors in high school, like those are the last couple months of those years are years that I would never take back for the world. Those are you kind of come together, you bond more. You're like, all right, let's buckle down. This is gonna be the last of the last, and this is the time to really have some fun, especially when you're on a sports team.
Yeah, and you miss that senior skip day and everything else that goes with it.
Oh yeah.
The cookout in the parking lot.
All the parties.
All the parties, yeah. You know what? That's all important. That's important. It's all part of your growing up cycle,
Yeah. Yeah, they got robbed. They got robbed.
Yeah, they did.
Don't be a senior.
But it saves me a lot of money. I don't have to buy a prom dress. I don't, I'm good with it.
Lucked out a little bit. Did you want to touch on, obviously you've been out of coaching football for a couple of years. I mean, what are you missing most about that aspect?
Well, I definitely missed coaching football, but and I definitely missed the connection with all the kids. That was really important to me, and the competitiveness of it, and that whole thing, the strategy, and I missed that, of course. But I haven't really had a time to enjoy not coaching because, like I said, I was sick all last year. One of the kids gave me a virus when I was coaching that last year that followed me straight through. So they tried to kill me, the kids, this year, but they couldn't get away with it. The doctor told me what's that?
How long were you a coach for? How long did you actually?
I started coaching in 1983.
Wow.
Well, actually, when I was in the Air Force, I was coaching there for a girl. I coached a women's Air Force women's softball team, like in the early, 1980, 82. And then when I got out of I was actually still at Hanscom, and I was commuting to Gloucester and playing and coaching. Started that in 83.
Wow.
So I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. So I like to try. I was talking to Jay Cody and trying to help out with the youth program. Then I got sick and I couldn't do it. I was looking to try to maybe take over as try to be president of that and relieve Jay of the duties and try to rebuild that program. I don't want to
bring back Pee Wee football.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever bring back Pee Wee football. I think there's not enough kids. People only have 1-2 kids these days, and if they're 2 girls, you're out of luck for football. And there's the last year of Pee Wee football when I was a referee, there were forfeiting games left and right because they didn't have enough players.
Wow.
Even teams like the Chargers, the A team, I remember the A team had 13, 14 players, and a couple kids got hurt and they forfeited the game.
You think that's more society as a whole, or just the whole concussion problem and all that? Or?
I don't think it has anything to do with the concussion problem. I think it has more to do with that, to try to buy a house in Gloucester for kids, young adults, is really expensive. So they move out of town, and those houses are being bought up by elderly people and that want to kind of retire here in the summer. So there's not a lot of kids there. The kids. When I was coaching, I think in '90, we won the Super Bowl in 2010. I think we had 780 boys in the school from freshman to senior. The last year I coached, I think there was 310, and I think Manchester is at 290. So we're more in line with Manchester than they are the old Gloucester High School. When I first started coaching, you would have, 1,500, 1,600 kids in that school, boys. The football team would have 100 kids on it.
Yeah, you need numbers when you're talking football.
Even from when we were sophomores, when I was a sophomore, freshman, and looking up at those kids that won Super Bowls and did great things, they had numbers. By the time it was senior year, it was like we were so low on numbers that myself, Devin, Maki Horgan, a couple of us had to play every snap of the game because we just didn't have the numbers to take a break.
Yeah, it killed the program, I think. You look at back in the, before 2010, and teams would have your backup running back would be the best running back on another team in the conference. And that created competitiveness that, if you didn't show up for running, you didn't show up for lifting, all right, we'll put that kid in there. You don't have that anymore. I feel bad for Danny down there because he's got nothing. The kid's
got nothing to work with.
He knows the kids are starting, and they know it, and so they say, the hell with you. If I was there, I'd punch them all in the face and drag them through
That's the Mike Lattof we know and love right there. So what's going on with running now? Now that you're out of running, who's taking over that? And
they didn't do it. They had a hard time.
Wow.
The coaches want to do their own programs, new coaches, and they're trying to make their own program. So and I think it's going to get easier for them. But the problem they had last year was kids would go to their running and say, well, this isn't Lattof. This is not hard. This is not challenging. And say, I'm not going to do it. And they stopped going. And
wasn't the same without you yelling at them there.
I coached with a bucket of rocks. If you didn't pick it up, I hit you with a rock.
Some vulgar things were said. Some vulgar things come out of Latto's mouth that running that out. We probably can't share to the public, but it was all in good spirits, and it definitely got you motivated. That's for sure.
But I think Danny, once the kids that have it worked out with me, that are gone, I think it will be easier. They'll buy in more to his program. There's nothing wrong with his program. They just do it different. They try to do an hour lifting, an hour running, and they try to work on things that they think that are important to them. Me, I felt like I wanted to both mentally challenge you and physically challenge. I wanted you, when you were done with running, to say, holy shit, I just did that. Can you believe it?
Those Monday morning run-ins after Fiesta, those are the ones that'll get you. That's when you know you're a true warrior, when you finish one of those.
I actually made special programs just for that. I really did. I knew what happened, and I wanted to torture you. You know what it was? I felt like if I mentally challenged you, that anything that happened in the game, you would be able to deal with, because you've already been through it. I put the things I put you through for 2.5 hours. The constant in your head and pounding in your head and
give them thick skin. Yeah,
it made you ready for anything. If the score if we were down by 10, you didn't really care. You knew we were coming back. Yeah. And if the referee made a bad call, so what? You can't bother me. I've been through everything already. That's why I wanted it to be. And I think the new programs, they got to learn how to do that themselves somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't put up with the kids not showing up. I've told that to Danny before. I'd drag him right out of the house.
No, you had us driving to people's houses I would show up to running bright and early. It started at 6. I'd be there at 5:45, make sure all my guys were there. And then if someone wasn't there that you wanted them to be there, hey, Sam, to go hop in your car and go get this kid. Go and bang on his door, wake him up, and go drag him out of bed. And that happened for years on end. And it's unfortunate that you can't really do that, or they're not doing that anymore, because that also is not even just mental and physical toughness, but it's another bond, another connection that you have. At the end of the day, you all bring it in. You're sweating, you're dying, and you look to the left, you look to the right, and your teammates are doing the same thing, and that you guys are all in it together.
It forms a brotherhood. I remember the last year I did the running, if I got down there at 6 a.m. or 5:45 and not everybody was there and they had to go get the guys, I started the stopwatch until they got back with everybody. And if it was at 100, we were doing 100 sprints from the tennis court up to the concession, all the way around. And they had to be, and each sprint was timed, and they had to be within 3 seconds of each one. And if you didn't do it, it didn't count. I had them do it ended up being 48 straight sprints nonstop. And then we started the workout.
That's torture.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you know what?
So Mike, out of like recent memory, who do you think you enjoyed, like, you know, shitting all over the most at Lattof running? Because, you know, like you said, you like to give us thick skin. Who gave it back to you, kid?
There was some kids that I really, like the Jenkins boys. I loved getting on them. They were so much fun because they would say, Coach, you know, you challenge them to do something. They're like, well, how can I get it? If I eat a bucket of sand, can I get out of it? And you've heard the stories about what they did, you know, eating the crap on the beach and crap stuff like that.
No, that's amazing.
Just to get out of some running.
Yeah. Yeah, they were fun to really get on. People like Cam Marston and Anderley were really fun to get on. You know.
Good banter.
I remember when Anderley first showed up to the beach as like a freshman, I said, Anderley, you know what you look like out here? You look like a big poop in a litter box because there's only a black kid on the team.
What do you give it back to you or what?
Not then. When he was a senior, he tried to give it back to me.
Yeah, he knew his
when you can kind of mess with you a little bit. When you're a freshman, you're scared of you.
I came down the beach that senior year, and Cam Marston and Andy decided they were going to sleep out because they were up all night anyways, and they slept on the beach. And after I kicked all the bottles and cans away, I got them up to run.
Oh, jeez.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
You know, there were so many kids I loved. Greg Moses way back in '96. I loved getting on his case. You know, there was always somebody. I love to get on everybody's case. I don't think anybody got away with me not saying something to them. I always felt like I treated everybody equal regardless of talent, and I was going at everybody the same way no matter what. You know, no matter how good or bad you were, you're going to get it from me one way or another. And I didn't care. The whole goal was to have everybody rally together and hate me, and I was fine with that.
You almost created the Patriot Way before the Patriot Way existed.
Yeah. Well, it became such a tradition as years went on. It became like a tradition to do the running program, so I didn't have to push it as much. You know, and today, Gloucester may not be doing the running program, but it's being done all over the country. I get things every day to send them information about the program, you know.
You were creative. It's like right now, everyone's in quarantine right now. Everyone's getting creative with their workouts, but you were the starter of that. You were creative with all your workouts. We were pushing sleds up Hampton Hill.
Yeah.
We were doing crazy stuff.
The last year, I did a whole workout routine that now the Houston Texans do. You know, with the big tires, pushing it back and forth to each other when it's standing up. Mm-hmm. That's what
Billy O'Brien taking some Lattof tips. I love it.
Froze here.
Local guy.
I just lost you guys somehow.
We can still see you.
We still got you, yeah.
So, you know, the program changed. I tried to constantly change it and make it tougher because then kids would get used to what I was doing and it become easy. So I always wanted to make it tougher and change it. This year, I've been helping out with the high school doing on Zoom, doing exercise classes on Zoom.
So that's good.
And I put videos together, right? And they go on and they do the exercise watching the screen, and Coach O'Connor and myself, you know, critique them. It's not as bad as, you know, the things we said out and running. Guys all froze on me again.
Yeah, you got
you froze on us. We can still hear you.
Oh, we got you back now.
Yeah. So it's probably because Jason's up playing Call of Duty upstairs, taking all my lessons.
I hear him on there all the time.
Yeah,
Call of Duty.
You know, so, you know, we go on the internet and we have the kids do the exercises, and we try to, you know, call out each kid and correct what they're doing and push them a little bit.
Awesome.
They're in trouble on Monday. I made a nice one on Monday out of the Insanity tapes. Cut pieces
I remember those,
16 different tapes and put it together into one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
With the running program, didn't you get you got a shout out on ESPN one time, didn't you? ESPN Boston? Twice?
Yeah. Twice they put it on ESPN as well. There was a company called HHS Sports that voted as the best conditioning program in the country for small college and high school. And it got voted for that twice. We didn't even know nothing about it. They were down in the parking lot watching us one year on the beach or whatever. And next thing you know, they told us that we won that, and then it was on ESPN. Yeah.
There you go.
You should have saw the beach when it was on the ESPN. They cleaned that beach right up. It was all raked, looking nice, looking sweet. And then all of a sudden, you know, back then we were getting 75 to 100 kids there. I think you were there, Santo, weren't you then?
I'm sure I was there.
And I had to throw people off the bridge. I said, "You never been to this goddamn running. Get out of here. You got to come out here now because ESPN's here. We could give two shits. Get out of here. Go home."
I want to show up when the cameras get there.
Yeah.
That's fake news.
People are fixing their hair, and you know. So
that's funny.
But you know, it was a good program, you know, and it's widely known. Like I said, I get calls, texts, emails from everywhere, you know, about parts of it. People want different parts of it, you know. So I sent it to them.
Yeah. It's good that you still have like some, maybe not revenue, but
already
something going on with it.
The almighty flash drive.
I have everything. They got videos of people, you guys doing it. I got every workout I ever did is down on paper somewhere.
Love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mike, like pretty much everyone knows, you know, you feel like the Lattof running and everything. Not a lot of people know that you were the split ends coach. Obviously, you know, I do know that being a split end myself. Got to ask you though, yes or no question, Mike, is split end the most important position at Gloucester football?
No.
All right, that's all I need to hear.
You know what? You know, I did the split ends, I think, for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And kind of moved to different positions all the time. But the one thing about the wing tier about football, that's what you like about football the most, is that it takes all of us to win, or all of us to make a play succeed. There's no one position you can say, but that's more important than the other, because it takes all 11 guys on the field working
11 on 11, yeah.
You know, the way I look at it is every play is meant to go all the way. I don't care if you're running a quarterback sneak. If everybody does their job and does it right, you should score a touchdown every time. And that's the way I look at it.
I like that.
You know? So there is no favorite position. You know, I shouldn't say favorite, but one position more key than the other. I mean, I have the favorite things that I coached. You know, I did love when I coached split ends. I taught you guys to be nasty. Little jabs in the throat.
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember going up against like Philpott and Tomato. They were nasty guys, definitely.
Yeah, you should teach them to get under the shoulder pads, drive into the neck.
Yeah. For sure.
I figured if I was going to be there, we had to cheat to win somehow.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. How long has Gloucester been running the wing tee since the program was like implemented, or you know?
No, it started probably in 92, 93.
Okay.
You know, you think about the wing tee, it's very adaptable. You know, you saw that a lot when Ingram was here. You could go to a spread wing tee easily if you wanted to and still run every play out of the wing tee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could go 22 formation, 2 wide receivers on each side, and still run trap. Right?
Yep.
So it's still there. You can still run sweep. You can still run jet. Right? You can still even do ISO with a quarterback. So anything that you know, the Patriots do a lot of wing tee plays if you really watch them. So I think that, you know, the wing tee has a lot of options to it, but it makes it really difficult is how do you prepare against it? You know, especially now where everybody's a spread team, and it's easy for them to prepare against each other. They're all spread. But now Gloucester comes around and you got to be prepared for wing tee, and none of these guys know how to play the wing back or the how to trap or pull, or you know, they have no idea how to defend it or how to practice it. So it gives us a leg up, I think. You know.
Now, do you know if the current coaching staff, have they thought about maybe trying some other offense or maybe a little variation?
I think they played with it a little bit last year. If you watch, because you know, even when I was in the hospital, I watched all their games because I was still in the huddle. And you saw them fooling around with different formations, and looked like it was a Madden game, but they tried doing a lot out of spreading people out. And the thing is, you either do it if you're going to change from the wing tee and go spread, you go spread and you practice that and you do that. You're going to be the wing tee team, you practice the wing tee all the time. You can't go. You learned that from Beverly. Remember, Beverly used to do the wing tee, and then when it didn't work, they switch over to spread. Well, then that didn't work because you never practiced it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's the only fault of the wing tee was, for the good teams, it's good. When you have good linemen that can pull, they're fast, they're strong, it works. And there's no question about it. You saw that from the early 2007 to 2011 teams. But then when we started trickling down and the talent maybe wasn't as good and the guys weren't as strong, not as quick, we found ourselves in a lot of third and long situations, and we had one pass play, and everyone knew 929 Waggle was coming. Here it is.
Well, your year, it was a different story because all the linemen, I don't want to name names on the show, quit.
Yeah.
They had different things going on. That's what really hurt your team. It's just that they all decided that they wanted to do other things to have fun than play football. That happened your senior year, in both yours too. Yeah. So that killed. But the thing about the wing tee is you can have undersized linemen and still run it. But you have to be committed to it, and you have to be committed to getting better. You see a lot of kids nowadays. In the old days, a kid show up and say, I want to play fullback. And you say, well, you can't play fullback. We have 6 fullbacks ahead of you. Go become a guard. And the kid would become a guard because he wanted to play. He wanted to be on the team. Today you do that, and they go home and tell mommy and daddy. Mommy and daddy say, why don't you play soccer?
No hate on soccer. There's no hate. I played soccer my whole life.
I'm not saying hate, but they would send them. They'd say, "Oh, coaches are all wrong."
Do something else.
Picking on you or whatever. So I used to tell parents all the time. I'm not here to be a friend. I got enough friends. I don't need any more. So
I love it.
So it's it's a different. Today's such a different story because the team's so low in numbers. And I don't know how you pick it back up. And maybe concussions are a little bit of a problem, but you know what? If you teach kids how to tackle, I remember last year, you spend more time teaching them how to do the right things, and you don't run into that problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't do nutcracker drills like you used to in the old days.
Cool. Yeah.
And to me, when I was playing, if you saw those little stars in front of your face, it was a badge of honor. Today,
They made it.
Today you're out of the game for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So it's just about.
So now that you're back to work, or you're trying to work again, you do some real estate, you're a financial advisor.
I do. Financial advisor is my main business, and I do real estate on the side. I did real estate just to, basically because I was stopping to coach and I need something to do more with the time. I knew that was coming, so I wanted something I could do even when I retire somewhere. I can do a little bit of real. I'm not one who's going to sit home and read a book and sit on the couch and just relax.
Yeah, I hate reading.
Reading's overrated.
I don't mind reading when I'm on vacation, but I'm doing things like that. But during the day, I want to be busy. I don't want to be,
absolutely,
lounging around somewhere. It's just not me, That's why this year it's going to be challenging for me, with especially, now I'm going to have to find something for all that energy. Last year I used it to get better.
Yeah.
The doctor told me last year, he says, people like me don't die because you're too crazy. He says you're too crazy.
Right.
He said you're too crazy, stubborn, and mentally tough to ever die. I said, yeah.
Be around forever.
So now that you're doing some real estate, I'm 25 years old, along with all of us. DJ's renting out. I still live with my parents because I'm hoping to save up the money to buy a house, which isn't looking that great given the circumstances of the housing market, like you said in Gloucester, that it just keeps rising up and up and up. So what would you give for advice for kids like us or young adults like us?
You got to start saving for a down payment. It kind of comes in the investment category that you got to pay yourself first instead of paying, pay yourself, make yourself a bill. So pay your bill first and put that money away. start building money for a down payment. And from there, you got to go look into, mortgage options. What's going to be the best option for a mortgage for me? And then you got to figure out how much what's my budget? What's my budget for a house? How much can I spend? And you can't time the housing market. It's just like the investment market. The market is what it is. It's, don't wait to get in it, because you keep saying, I hear this all the time. Well, I'm going to wait because the market's going to drop. If it doesn't drop, then what are you going to do? Then you're going to be 5 years into this, and by natural, the prices rose anyways because of inflation and stuff. So you don't wait. When you have your down payment, you have your mortgage, you have your pre-approval, right? That's when you start looking. And not only do you have to have those things, that down payment can't be all your money. You don't want to put all your money into buying a house. You got to have money to move into that house. You got to buy furniture for that house. You got to insure that house. So you always got to make sure that you have enough money built up that, one, I can put down the down payment. Two, I still have an emergency fund on the other side. And they both go together. So
I think that's the problem with a lot of kids our age right now is everyone's so eager to buy and to move out and to be on their own that they kind of get themselves in this spot where they're throwing too much of what they have at a piece of property to hopefully make money on it if it's a multifamily, or so be it. But then you almost dig yourself into a deeper hole, and now you're climbing out of that hole with your next paycheck to just dig it down the deeper hole. You gotta understand what is an asset and what is debt. If you're buying a multifamily home and you're getting $1,000 a month in rent, but it's costing you $1,200 to manage it, now it's a liability, right? And that happens to a lot of people. They buy these multifamily homes, they find out they have to redo everything over, and they get people to rent it, then they get water bills and insurance, and they find themselves a little over the head. It becomes more of a liability instead of an asset. If you're going to buy a house that's an investment property, you got to make sure that it's circulating cash into your pocket. Yeah. If it's not circulating cash into your pocket, then it's a liability. It's another debt.
Is there some first-time homebuyer programs where it's like a very low percent down payment?
There's a lot of programs you can do right through the city of Gloucester or right through the federal government that are for first-time homebuyers. You got to do your homework on it and look into it. Mm-hmm. But I know in Gloucester they have some, and there's different types of loans you can look at depending upon if you're in the military or a veterans loan and things of that nature. First-time homebuyer loans. Mm-hmm. You just got to look into all the avenues. Again, so I know some of them allow you to put down 3%. Right?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Buy a home. But now you're going to have a bigger mortgage. And now is that big mortgage going to turn into a bigger liability instead of an asset? So you got to be careful of that. You really got to know what your budget is, what you're looking for a home for. And you need a home that's going to grow with you in the future. You just don't want to say, well, this is good for now.
So I think long term.
Yeah, you got to think long term because you just don't know what the future holds.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Your things you got to do right now is check your credit, make sure you have good credit report, pay down debt. It's good to build credit, but sometimes people get in the habit of building too much credit and create so much debt that they can't get a loan anyways. So, you got to manage your debt. And that comes back to the same thing you do investments. If you're going to invest, you got to reduce your debt. That's the first investment you should make. So my two bets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
all right, well, Mike, before we let you off and you can go hang out with your family, even though we've all been with our families, we're starting to get sick of them, I need to ask you one question.
Yes.
At this given moment, who would win in a race, me or Devin?
Well, put it this way. If you two had a race, you would get to the finish line. You would have dinner, a cocktail, dessert, go home and come back, and Devin still wouldn't be on the starting block.
Wow.
Give it to me.
It wouldn't even be close.
I
don't even
you
know.
heard it here.
Now we need to race. We need to race now.
If full-legged Devin can even run anymore.
Oh, God.
I still got wheels.
Yeah, when the cops are chasing you.
Oh, I needed that.
I will tell you what, in 30-something years, I never got more phone calls for a ride home than it went from Devin.
Oh, we have some magical ones. We have some good stories from Devin.
Oh, I'm sure.
That first year where Devin came to GHS, I think it changed his life. Maybe not in the best way, but he had a good time.
I remember he called me up, and he had been out one night, and I dropped him off at his house, right? And he went in the garage. I saw him go in.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
And then I'm getting texts from his mother and father that, where's Devin? Everybody said, you brought him home. I said, I brought him home. He went in the garage. They found him sleeping under the car. 3 in the morning, he's sleeping under the car.
That was an all-timer
story.
Oh, I got a lot.
But that's the type of stuff that you would do that most coaches wouldn't. Or, I mean, I never had another coach like that. That's a perfect representation of how much you actually cared about the kids that you coached. You would take your shirt off your back for them. If they needed groceries, you would go buy them groceries. If they needed a ride home, you'd go get them a ride home. You would do anything you could for the kids that you coached.
We always talk about family. And to me, being a family was being there all the time for your kids. And not only for that year that you coached them, but forever. I try to stay in contact. You get a birthday message from me every birthday or every holiday or every Christmas. I send something out. I try to stay in contact. You know how big that list is to send out of. But I try to stay in contact with everybody because I believe we're family for life. And there were times, I remember flying down to Florida recently. Somebody was a kid I coached back in the 90s was having marital problems. And I flew down there to help him out.
Wow.
So that's what you do. We're family, and so we stick together. If any of you had a problem, I'd be there. Would you look for a referral to the police department?
You were there. You were there.
They asked me for a referral, and 3 other people at the same time did it. The chief of police calls me and says, which one would you hire? That's your job, buddy.
He said me, but he just doesn't want to admit that on this right now.
Well, you were a quarterback, so they made you a leader. So
tried.
Yeah. But I try to care for. The kids I coach were really important to me. I always consider them family. And just like my son Jason, I didn't treat him any different on the field. And somebody asked me about how many people do I have in my family when I was in the hospital. I said I got thousands to my family. All the kids I ever coached are my sons to me. So
love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if
you made it feel that way too.
Yeah, if you get out of line, I could still whack them.
Keep that right.
I think you still would till today.
Yeah. The only ones that figured me out was the girls. I get the girls at practice or something like that, and I call them all together, and I'm going to scream at them, and they get there and say, Coach, did you get a haircut? I was like, yeah, I did. How'd you know? And I forget what I was going to yell at them about. I remember calling times out in the game and calling them over. I'm just going to scream because they did something stupid on the field and get them over there and say, Coach, you look like you lost weight. You're right.
Oh, thank you.
Genius stuff.
The ref come over and say, all right, that's enough time, Coach. It's like, well, girls, go out and do the best you can.
That's great.
But I treated them just like I treated you guys at practice, running or anything like that. They didn't get any breaks. People are like, you can't treat girls the same. I said, watch.
I love it.
The first year I did it, they were all crying. I sent them home. Go home and cry to your mother. I don't want no babies on there.
It's 2020 equality. Let's do it.
I'm fine with the equality.
That's right.
I just thought that they should be their athlete. You know what? And those girls worked really hard. They were dedicated and committed, and I found them after I got them to think the way I wanted them to think, that they wanted to win and, do whatever it took to win, just like you guys did. We were dirty as hell. I remember the referee comes over to me, a guy refereed football, and he says, Coach, can I ask you a question? He says, in football, I can't get you to shut up. He goes, you never say anything down here. I said, I don't know the rules. I don't have a clue.
I was going to say, I never understood girls lacrosse either.
You have no clue.
Yeah.
I tell them all to spread out and go.
Run.
Oh, that's good.
Pass the ball.
Yeah. I think we wanted to ask you if you had any inspiring words to get through the quarantine before you sign off.
Well, I don't know if I have inspiring words, but, it isn't like we haven't dealt with problems before. You stick together. You work hard, right? You don't.
We're family, right?
Yeah, we're family. Exactly. You don't listen to all the bull crap. You don't put people down. Come together, and you get through it. It's those people that are out there on Facebook who are knocking people, taking pictures of people doing the wrong things. You know what? Spend more time worrying about yourself and less time worrying about the other people that you can't control. You'll be fine.
100%.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it.
It's like the stock market. You can only control what's in front of you. You can't predict what's going to happen. So just deal with it.
Control the controllables.
I'm in a situation where my doctor told me if I go out and get this thing, it's fatal to me. So I'm doing what I have to do to stay in.
Yeah, exactly. Just do your part. Just do your part.
Yeah. It sucks.
Awesome, Coach. Well,
you know what we did the other day? We'd set up an indoor golf course.
I saw that on Facebook. I saw that.
So we played golf, and yesterday we did Olivia and I did like a little basketball court with two cups with a ping pong ball.
Anything to stay entertained.
Yeah.
Jason won't do the games with us because he's too busy doing Fortnite or whatever the hell he does.
Yeah. See on there 12 hours a day.
Every time I go in there, I kind of ball at his head or something just to see if he's awake.
Just zoned out.
So, that's good.
All right. So it's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
You on. Thank you for that. Some inspiring words, some good stories, and more.
Well,
awesome.
if I knew your audience, I could share some real good stories. But
we don't even know our audience yet.
Maybe that's something we can all do over a beer sometime when this is all over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you having you on, Mike, and definitely stay safe during these times.
You guys too.
Awesome.
All right. Take
care,
care,
Coach.
Yeah, bye.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
The Smooch Report, the post-podcast scoreboard sport report. It's a bit of a working title. I'm going to work on it and see where I go with it. We're going to see what purpose this segment actually provides moving forward. But I guess my only real job that I've been given is to tell you the score. Who got 1 red card, who got 10, who got 50. This week was pretty easy. Didn't have to break out the old calculator. It was just 1 for DJ, 0 for Santo, 0 for Devin. Which is just a disgustingly low amount of red cards. The hot take itself was pretty tame, in my opinion. Like the Bucks being bad next year, sure, that they could be Super Bowl champs. They could go 0-16. They're both well within the realm of possibilities. I think we got to crank up the heat. It's the podcasting game is a game of hot takes, and the heat I'm looking for is something along the lines of like, Zdeno Chara will be convicted of war crimes that he committed in the 1990s Balkan War. Like, that is what I need. That's what's going to get listeners. That's what's going to get, just get the conversation flowing too, to the point that we need it to be at. So I got to hand out a punishment, I guess. This week was pretty tame. There was only one. It's the first week, so I'm going to start low, so I have some room to grow so I don't burn myself out too early. We're going to start DJ, next week, scarf down a couple steak and cheese taquitos from 7-Eleven. To be honest, I've had them before willingly. They're not that bad. You just have to get past the mental block of them sitting there for like at least 6 days before you get them. Also, you guys just glanced over Santos saying that the last thing that he would do before he died is crank one out, which maybe you guys agree with it. Maybe I agree with it on like some level. But I think most people, upon hearing that, would maybe toss up the red card. I guess, maybe that's worth digging into a little bit deeper next time, see where we'd run with it. Also, you guys talked about Brady leaving a lot, and you failed to mention that I single-handedly drove him out of this region. I've been to 2 Pats games in my entire life. I went to the 08 home opener, where he faked an injury to get out, and then 12 or 11 years later, or whatever it is, I go back to Gillette, and I see him poke his head out of the tunnel. He's looking around. He's like, is he here? I heard he was coming. Where is he? I heard he was coming. And he crawled out of that tunnel and got his ass handed to him by the Dolphins, which I think everyone would agree effectively ended his career as a Patriot. I think he just had enough. He said, Bill, I've had enough of this Pat Kelley kid. Like, I've just got to get out of here. I can't risk him coming back. But the real losers in all of this, with the Pats losing the Bradyman, is his kids. They were at this great school in Connecticut. They were in the New England school system, best schools in the country, arguably on the planet. And now they're down in Tampa. And the best private school in Tampa is, it's like going to public school in Lynn. It's like being the sharpest spoon. Like it's just meaningless. And their dad still kisses them on the lips. They got this crazy diet that they're working with. Like they're just gonna grow up to be like profoundly confused individuals that will either save the planet or like die under a train bridge somewhere. It's just those two options. Some good I see coming out of this is if the Pats could get, either, if they clear up some money, some cap space, they get Cam Newton or Jameis, and really market the crab leg stealing, laptop stealing kind of energy that they had in college, and make the Pats like a bad boy team. Like make them go from not likable, this corporate environment, like weird super professional team, to just an outright hateable team. It's gouging eyes down in the pig pile, that sort of thing, like some old school Raiders football, like that kind of energy. I'd love to see it. I'd root for them every week for that. It was a bummer that we couldn't all record this together because of the corona. Except I guess I'll always do this part alone, so I'll just stay alone moving forward as well. But in the future, it'll be fun recording it all together. Maybe we'll see where it goes. And I guess, stay home if you're sick. Come over if you're thick. And back to Santo to end it on a high note. See you next week.
Yeah. It's the Grease Sports Podcast.